Well, hello. Every time it's like a party, it's a surprise. Every time you get to go live. So much fun. So, hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Becky Vaness, and I am an access consciousness facilitator. And I have the amazing Venus here with me today. And she also is an access consciousness facilitator and a Joy of Business facilitator, and I'm sure so much more. But what we're talking about today is Joy of Business. And you're my fifth interview.
These have been so great. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they've been so fun. Such a contribution even to me and my business, these videos. So I'm so grateful for them. Again, and what we're going to talk about today is how's your business doing? And if you're watching this and saying, well, I don't have a business, you have a business. But the amazing Simone Milasas, founder of Joy of Business, says if you wake up in the morning and you have blood running through your veins, you're in business. So you guys are all, well, hopefully alive watching this. Have blood running through your veins. So
you woke up this morning. If you were watching this, then you probably woke up this morning.
Yeah, and you have a business. And so let's just jump in. So Venus, tell us, how's your business doing?
Well, I think it's interesting because I think it was just this morning that I finally made a choice that my business was no longer going to be a hobby.
Yeah. I've been playing with that one too. So you might be a mind reader. Thank you.
You're welcome. And what's actually funny is my partner actually went, yeah, because hobbies they're supposed to cost you money, not make you money. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. I've never, from somebody, outsider saying that. And I thought, oh, that's really interesting. But if you look at it, a lot of times that's true. We treat it as a hobby. Then we're like, oh, well, it's okay if I spend all this money on paint and canvases and paint.
Because it's just play and
right. Yeah. So what would it take to actually then, not have your business be a hobby and actually create more with it? What else would be possible? My business has changed exponentially over the years with the Access Conscious tools and Joy of Business for sure, because I started to, one, choose what I love to do instead of doing what I thought I needed to do to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And then, having that kind of that turning point of going, oh, okay, this is no longer a hobby for me. And I love how you introduced yourself as an Access Consciousness facilitator. I think for a long time too, I would say I was a life and business coach, because I wasn't afraid, but I was wanting people to be able to hear or understand a fraction of what I did. And then I also recently changed that because I was like, no, I'm an Access Consciousness certified facilitator. And if somebody wants to know what that is, they can ask. And if they don't have to. But I'm going to actually own it again, more from these tools have changed my life. I mean, everything in my life, my money flows, my relationships, my business. And if we could get more people to know about these tools, what a greater world we could live in.
Yeah. And they could actually have fun.
Yeah, that's why it's called Joy of Business. Right?
Yeah. And thank you for bringing that up too, because we also were talking to Access Consciousness facilitators with these videos as well. And I know one, for me, I have been looking at this as a hobby for a long time. And it's, that's been coming up for me because somebody, actually another Joy of Business facilitator, when we were talking about this, was like, hey, is this still a hobby for you? And it was more of a question that she was talking to a bunch of people. And I was like, yeah, I've been pretending like this is a hobby, because I have several other businesses and I create in many different ways. And I don't want to say very serious because that's not actual true. Because I mean, I have fun with everything that I do, but I make a lot of money over there, and
Right.
then this is fun.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's not very smart. Like,
Right.
what if I just chose to be all in,
Mhm.
like I am all in over there? Like, what would that create? And my business has exploded.
Right.
I was like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you. That's a great question. So if you guys missed that, she's like, oh, maybe this isn't just a hobby. It's not a hobby.
Right.
That's
It's
a
not,
great.
and that's cool too, because it's a reminder too that it doesn't matter what you're choosing in life, but it is just a choice.
Yeah.
And you can choose something different. You can try it on one way. You could try it on as a hobby for as long as you want. And
Yeah.
then if you're like, I want to create more with this, or that's not really working for me, you can choose something different. And that is one of the most powerful tools that we have, is choice.
It's
The
choice.
ability to choose anything and then choose again and
Yeah.
then choose again.
And keep choosing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. And your point of view does create your reality. So, when you're looking at your business, what is your point of view? And yeah, it's just really acknowledging things. Then you have choice. So that's so cool. So thank you.
Mhm.
Venus, what is your favorite Joy of Business tool that you can share with us?
My favorite Joy of Business tool, I would probably say, well, I have a lot of favorites, but I'll start with the one that changed my financial reality.
Yay, tell us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe if your business is a hobby, that could actually change your financial reality
Yeah,
too.
that's true too. Yeah, especially you can make it even more greater.
Yeah.
But, well, I was definitely somebody who worried and stressed about money. Like Simone, in some ways, I was $60,000 in debt twice, so two different times. I got myself out of debt, but I was never in the green. I was always in the red or just barely getting by. And it's an access conscious tool. Also enjoy a business is the 10% account. It's the honoring of you and taking 10% of everything you earn and put it into an account that's just for you, never to spend. It's not for anything other than you getting used to having money instead of always being in that lack or barely getting
Just
by.
getting by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And
That
it
is,
changed everything for me. I
well, how did you start? How did you start just choosing doing the 10%?
well, I will tell you this. I started a couple times and then spent it. I think a lot of people say that. And it turns out that when you do that, it kind of backfires. It like makes money even more stressful. And then finally it was a choice and it was a commitment to myself. I was like, I'm creating this and I'm not spending it. And I have some like money making investments that some of it has gone to now that I never would have imagined I could have created, and just having money. And then I don't worry about money anymore, which is weird because I used to worry about money all the time. And it's just putting, like, every time I got paid in a paycheck, I'd put 10% of my paycheck into a have account. And I would call it a have account because if you call it a savings account, savings is kind of like for a rainy day or
Yeah.
like when something happens. And guess what?
Yeah.
Something will always happen that you
Yes.
need a savings account for. So, and I had to trick myself a little bit because I also like to spend money. So I had to also create a spending account because
Oh, I like that. Because I like to spend money. Hi, my name is Becky, and I like to spend money too.
So I was like, okay, I have to have the have, but I also have to have money to play with and have fun with and to spend. So I created some other accounts so that I could have that too, and I didn't feel like I was missing out by putting money only in the have account and I couldn't spend. So
That's a great tip for that one. Thank you so much. I love
mhm.
that. Um, all right. So when you're facilitating the Joy Business class, which one of them, I mean, there's so many, I know classes with the Joy of Business that you can facilitate, but one of them is the Business Done Different. What is Like what? Okay, so when you're facilitating the Business Done Different class, what is the one question participants do you think ask you the most?
That's a great question. Things that they ask me the most.
Yeah, or like what comes up the most during these classes?
I would probably say judgment.
Oh,
Like their judgment of their business not doing what they want it to be doing, their judgment of it not making enough money, their judgment of yeah, like they're doing it wrong, or they're not doing it the same way as everybody else is doing it, so it must be the wrong way, right?
yeah,
So
got
the
you.
wrongness. Which brings me to my other favorite tool, which is gratitude.
Uh,
And like if you can find gratitude for the smallest amount of money that you have, and you can find gratitude for the business exactly as it is and exactly as it isn't, that will grow. Gratitude grows, judgment kills. So
mm,
the more you find gratitude for what is showing up in your life, it will show up greater. So for instance, for a long time, I was looking for a team to work with me, like having people work with me. And I really only had like one person that stuck for like a year. I had a bunch come in and out, but I kept asking and I kept trying on new people, and we kept, like hiring new people and seeing if it would be a fit.
yeah.
And then I just looked at it a couple of days ago, and I was like, I have 8 people now. But it just happened. Like I wasn't even like I was asking for it.
Yeah.
I was grateful for the one person. I was so grateful for the one person. And then that gratitude brought another person, and then another person, and then 2, and then 4, And so now it's like, oh, wow. But I know that that's because I was grateful for what I had and not judging that I didn't
Mm,
have more, right?
I love that. Gratitude. Yeah, that's so cool. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah. All right. My last question. So, what do you think is like the biggest, like, oh my gosh, moments from the participants, with these tools and these classes that you facilitate? Um, like even for me, I was just like, oh, that gratitude, wow. But I wonder, like, is there something that that kind of comes up a lot with the people, or a story of someone like, oh my gosh, wow, this just changed everything for me.
I would probably say that like being willing to like look at your business as an entity in itself, like
Yeah.
and to treat it as such, like to talk to your business, to ask what your business wants, to ask who does your business want to hire, to ask
Mm,
what does your business want you to focus on today, what is your business like that, having that go, oh wow. And then when you do that, that immediately takes you out of this is me and my business. This is now you're we. Now suddenly there's at least 2 of you. There's your business and you.
yeah.
And then you work together to create what you want to create. And then it gets, it gets greater.
That was actually one of my favorite tools. When I first started my businesses and Access a long time ago, I just read the book, and I always love to say I actually use the free tools to create all of my businesses before I even actually went and started taking like live classes. I just used the free tools and read the book, and so that's funny because that was one of mine. Like you don't like I was then able to allow the business to actually create the business, and like what it would know and like what it would like. And so for me that really changed a lot, and then I was able to add more businesses
Mhm.
because that was so easy for me. So um that one was an oh my gosh one for me too.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you for coming
Mhm.
on. I like to keep these quick for people so they can just hop on and get these quick tools. And this was amazing. Thank you so much, Venus, for coming on here with me.
Thank you, Becky. You really are such a gift, and I'm so grateful for you. So thanks.
Thank you. Oh, bye, everybody. See you guys in a couple of days, maybe.